Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons from brandonsimmons.biz, and this is my weekly blog titled Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. This week, the Texans are going to be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, who are coming fresh off their fourth quarter comeback victory over the San Diego Chargers. Now, a little history with the Chiefs and the Texans, man. They're not really rivals, but they're kind of like a pseudo foe that I like to call. Last season, Chiefs opened and closed our season. Basically, they beat us down in our home opener in week one, and then they eliminated us from the playoffs, from the past playoffs in 30 to 0 while we were at home again. So basically, you can tell that you can definitely going to feel that there's going to be a little bit of beef there between those two teams. But with that being said, I think the Texans are coming into this game and they're gonna feel like this is a redemption game. There's a few missing pieces from last year's Texan squad, but there's also like a couple of new pieces and a whole bunch of remaining pieces as well. Um, a lot of those players that are from last year's team, they still have that, chip on their shoulder. Like, this is the team that kind of ruined our season, put a damper on it for the most part. So we need to come out here and just show them that things have changed. And definitely things have changed. As I mentioned in this article, as well as articles before, our offense is better, obviously because we actually have a quarterback now. Defense is tackling better. It's not like last year in the first half of the season where defense was just missing tackles and just giving up big play after big play. No, all of that is done away with. And so in this game, it's definitely gonna be a problem for the Chiefs. It's not gonna be as easy as they made it out to be last season. One of the key things that I think is gonna happen is I'm gonna look for Will Fuller to emerge. Last week when he played, I was thinking like, hey, this is just a rookie. He's coming in his first actual real professional NFL game. He's probably not going to do much. Guy finished the game with like 100 something yards as well as a touchdown. So that's definitely saying something. Even though it's the Chicago Bears and they're going through their situations or they're doing over there, it's still impressive for a week one debut. So I'm definitely going to look for him to be doing a lot more things, whether it's going deep down the field if he can catch the ball, or if they're just going to use him more into possession roles as far as like just taking screens or just doing short routes across the middle. Um, One thing that I think our defense is just going to have to be aware of is Spencer Ware for the Chiefs. Now, in last week's game against the Chargers, dude had like 70 yards rushing, but on top of that, he had over 129 yards receiving. A running back, 129 yards receiving. And these wasn't no short flat routes or screen routes. No, these are like post routes, outs, all types of deep down the middle plays that you would usually reserve for a wide receiver, not somebody who's coming out 3 yards into the backfield. So definitely our defense is going to have to be on their P's and Q's as far as like keeping control of him and just watching where he goes and all this other stuff. In particular, our linebackers and our secondary. I feel for our secondary, they're going to have to step it up. Last week, I really wasn't too pleased with how they performed. I think they gave up 100 and some first half yards to Alshon Jeffrey, and Alshon Jeffrey, he's pretty good talent and all that stuff. He has a pretty good connection with Jay Cutler and all that. So yeah, that might be expected, but come on, man, it's still Jay Cutler. Like you really can't give up, those type of yards, to those guys like that. Especially in a first, can't have those numbers given up in the first half, regardless, no matter what team you are. So definitely, our secondary is going to have to tighten it up and just keep a watch over the Kansas City Chiefs receivers. And it doesn't look like they really have too much in the receiving core. It's pretty much Jeremy Maclin and Travis Kelce. That they'll have to be worried about. I'm not saying that they're going to shut them down, but at least slow down the impact that they will have on the game. Because I think that'll probably, depending on how they do, is probably much depending on how much success the Chiefs will have. Um, Next thing the defense needs to be worried about is Alex Smith. Now, of course, you could probably say, on paper, you could probably say, like, oh, Alex Smith, really? Alex Smith. But at the same time, this guy's still he's still a baller. He makes smart plays. They're what people call a game manager. So he makes smart plays. His arm isn't like amazing, but it's accurate. He'll make the correct throws where they need to be made and everything else. So definitely just kind of watch out for that. As well as just watch out for his scrambling. Last week they ended up winning the game in overtime because he ran on an option play. He kept the ball on an option play for the game-winning touchdown. So definitely watch out for the little scrambles that he does. Even though he had like 15 yards running last week, definitely make sure those aren't like crucial yards, going for first downs or going for touchdowns, if you will. So, with that being said, it looks like the Texans, they really do have their work cut out for them. I truly believe that, they have improved since the last time they faced the Chiefs. So, without question, they'll definitely be ready for them. Texans are playing at home. I actually got that right this week. So, they're playing at home, so they'll definitely have the crowd behind them. And I know the crowd's going to be there, like, just hungry, just smelling blood, for the Chiefs. Other than that, man, I think if our offense just goes like a little bit aggressive as far as like passing to the receivers, I would say probably going deeper down the field a little bit more times than last week, then we'll definitely have this game in the bag and just eliminate on the mistakes, and that should be a win for us. But until next week, I'll holla.